Hello everyone,
Hello.
and welcome to our presentation. We are really pleased to talk to you today. So we are Hatch, we are a consultancy agency, and we're going to start the presentation talking a little bit about who we are. So as we said just before, we are design thinking consultants, and so we are 3 experts in design thinking, and we offer creative solutions for people or companies in need for creativity, innovation and change. And we are working actually on the age of intellect and intuition to design improving solutions. So let's introduce the team. So there is Théo, there is Laura, of course Laura's first because she's lady, Théo and myself, Arthur. We're going to start with actually a fact relevant, which says that actually 80% of companies believe they deliver outstanding value and superior customer experience. And at the end of the day, actually 8% of their customers agree, which is actually pretty low. So what does that mean? It means that what we do is important actually, because we help to innovate and improve customers' experience and services to make them more useful, usable, and desirable for clients on one side, and on the other side, more efficient and more effective for organizations. So it's actually at the end of the day win-win situation. So on the left you'll be able to see the customer experience pyramid. So that actually explains the 3 different levels of the customer experience. So first level is to meet need, of course, then is the easiness of the experience, and finally if it meets needs, if it's easy, at the end of the day it is actually likely to be enjoyable. So we actually found out that shopping at Sainsbury, grocery shopping in general, but shopping at Sainsbury in particular, was not so easy and not enjoyable. So we're going to try to help you out with this. So our principles is to be human-centered, so a deep empathy and understanding of needs and motivations of people. Collaborative, we definitely think that several brains are actually more effective than only one. We are optimistic. It's actually fundamental in our work. So no matter how big is the problem, how little time or how small is the budget, we can still find solutions. And experimental, design thinking gives actually permission to fail and to learn from mistake. You and us, so we are Hatch, you know about us now, and you're Sainsbury, and we're gonna try to help you. So agenda of the presentation. So first we're going to talk about the problem identification with a first survey, then a persona and a customer journey. Then we're going to confirm the problem we found with another survey, offline this time. And at the end of the day, we'll actually recommend you to implement some new ideas. I'm going to let the floor to Laura, who's going to talk about the problem identification now.
Thank you, Arthur. So, as Arthur said, we're going to talk about the problem identification. And what we did, first of all, is conducted a survey, a short online survey of 8 questions in order to generate some insights of the experience customers have when they grocery shop in your stores. We were able to reach out to 69 respondents, of which 17 were not Sainsbury shoppers. So, as we see in the graph, out of 52 respondents that shop in Sainsbury's, 46% were part of the age group of 33 to 40, followed by the age group of 26 to 32. We also asked our respondents about their marital status and found that 47% were married, followed by 32% who were divorced. Out of the respondents, 79% stated that they had children, which is an important factor. Furthermore, we wanted to know how often people grocery shop and noticed that half of the respondents do so around 1 to 2 times per week, spending on average 30 to 40 pounds each time. We also decided to figure out how what principal reasons people shop at your supermarkets, and found that it's because of your opening hours, the item variety you offer, the item quality, and the convenience of your stores. And finally, in terms of store feature rating, we can highlight the lowest rated features as the service delivered by the employees, the waiting time at the queues, and the easiness to find the desired items. So now we're going to go on and talk about our persona. So who is she? Her name is Victoria Brown. She is 34 years old and lives in the outskirts of London with her husband and 2-year-old toddler Enzo. She has a busy and stressed life since she works as a product manager and at the same time has to be a full-time mother. She is family-oriented, she's organized, and very social. And this also means that she is into technology and especially into social media. And now I'm going to give the floor to Théo.
Thank you, Laura. Victoria customer journey includes a pre-purchase, in-store, and post-purchase stages in which her feelings fluctuate from positive to negative. And during her journey, we highlight 10 touch points. And our intention is to increase Victoria's in-store experiment through critical touch points. So Victoria feels uncomfortable and in a hurry. She struggles to find what she wants, asking for help from employees, which make her feel like she's wasting her time. She's jumping from aisles to get what she wants as for products. Then she needs to queue and start feeling impatience from the attitude and the behavior of other shoppers. The cashier is unfriendly, the items are purchased and disregarded. And finally, while she's packing her grocery items, the customers behind her are already scanning her own items and putting pressure on her. So from all the previous tools we used, we highlighted 5 critical pressure points: the customer orientation, the waiting time, the store environment, the no kid friendly, meaning that the stores are not adapted to mothers with their children, and the quality service from the employees. So now we're passing to the confirmation part. So first we connected an offline questionnaire. So we went to Sainsbury at Holborn around 6 p.m., a time that at which Victoria would go grocery shopping. So we interviewed briefly 16 grocery shoppers and then 3 mothers with children. So from the 16 shoppers, what we found out was that 69% of them feel that they waited too long. 62% of them did not have a pleasant experience, and 56% of them had trouble to find easily their products.
Okay, so, and in terms of the questionnaire we did towards the 3 mothers at the exit of Sainsbury's, we found out that 66% of them considered that it wasn't easy to shop with their child, and 3 out of 3 of them said that they would like your supermarket to be more family oriented since they have children. So now we are gonna jump to the observations we made personally in your supermarket, and we found out that restocking was too often, and some of the people had a hard time accessing the aisles. We also encountered some families with children grocery shopping. We paid attention to the facial expressions in the waiting line and saw that people were stressed and impatient. We also figured out that the disposition of your products is standard and neutral as well, which is similar to your competitions. And in general, the environment and the atmosphere we found was very rushed. So now we are going to jump to recommendations, where we are going to offer you 5 offline recommendations and 1 very important online recommendation. So we're going to start off with the customer orientation. You should really improve your in-store signage, since a lot of the people we observed were lost and didn't find the product easily. We would recommend you to establish colored arrows on the floor indicating the different food sections where the shelves will correspond with the same color of the arrow. So, which are the backstage implications? We would recommend you to test the colors through a quantitative research and specifically causal design, so experiments, to figure out how the adults and children react towards the colors, the shapes, and the patterns. Furthermore, the arrow design would be made by the marketing department and some intermediaries. You should test the efficiency of everything we've talked about right now in one store experiment, and ask shoppers afterwards about how they feel about it. And if this is successful, there would be a potential expansion to other stores. The second recommendation would be in terms of waiting time. This is to reduce people's stress and impatience by implementing express lanes for people who carry less than 10 to 15 items. Furthermore, TV screens could be added in between two lanes where entertainment content and promotion of other brands will be shown. It is important to know that these promotions will generate revenue, and the backstage implications we have in this case would be basically indicating the express lane, so putting the corresponded signs, and we'd have to contact with TV suppliers.
So concerning the store environment, many studies has showed the power and the influence of plants on human behaviors. So we would recommend you to actually use plants, not artificial ones, real ones, but for that the backstage implication would be to have a flower and plant supplier first. Then be sure to select those plants on a pollen-free basis for the for the sake of the customers, and then while taking care of them, so gardening. We'll also would like you to redesign the shelves, so that would require the in-store architect and a designer. The designing and the testing of the shapes would be based on the easiness for the employees to refill them, but also the accessibility of products for the shoppers. And we will require a merchandiser and supplier. The store environment will also incorporate a Wi-Fi service for the convenience of the customers, and we would implement schedules for the restocking, refilling. Yeah. For the kid-friendly, what would we suggest you to do is basically combine fun and entertainment for the mothers and fathers with their children. So what we would suggest you to do is to actually purchase shopping carts for kids, such as the one you display in the slides with the little car, so the kids would be a bit more entertained and happy. We will also suggest you to offer free healthy food samples around the stores at the height of the children, so they can experience actually the store, or they can be part of the experience. So finally, concerning the staff attitude, we would recommend you to train them through team building activities to create synergy. We will also think that seminars and psychology courses or introductory ones on body language would be highly beneficial for the employees, but mostly for the customers. And the backstage implication would be human resources, team building activities, seminars, psychology introductions on body language.
All right, and finally, so I'm gonna keep going with the recommendations. With one last recommendation that would be digital at that time, as opposed to the offline recommendations we did before. So that would be through the creation of an app that would be called something like Easy Saints. So of course, the name is not the definitive one, but that's just an idea about what could be named the application. So we decided to do some prototyping. So here is the logo of the application, and as well as the home menu. So on the home menu, you can see that you can actually find your stores. So you can that actually use the geolocalization to try to find the stores, the Sainsbury's that are around you. You can also check. You can also do a checklist. So for example, you can use your application directly to say that you want to buy eggs and everything, and that would actually have another implication later on that I'm going to explain you. You have also access to the promotions of the stores, so which products are into promotions. And of course you have something else, which is the My Points, so I'm going to explain you about that later. So here is 3 screenshots of the application. So of course they are mock-ups, it's not the definitive ones, you understand this. But so on the left hand side you have the checklist. So the checklist is just first you enter what you want to buy in the store, so milk, meat and everything. You have also, if you check, a tiny eye just next to, which means information, and clicking on this, you will be able to find, for example, you know, for beef steak, you'll be able to find all the kind of meat that will be in promotions in the store. So that's also another implication. But what is really interesting is that from your checklist, you will be able then, within the store, to have a map that guides you through the store, through the actually most effective way to take your different items. So that actually, this recommendation is for many problems, and but most importantly, it's of course the customer orientation, which was one of the big problem within your store. So that would actually help customers to go faster, to be more efficient, and to go directly to the products they want to buy. So as you can see on the screen in the middle, you go from the entrance to the vegetable, and from the vegetable to the dairy, because first you buy your tomatoes, and then you go to buy your milk, and once you've checked your tomatoes you go onto the milk, and once you've checked the milk you go onto the beef steak and everything, and so on. So at the end of the day, the aim of it is to improve the customer journey and to make it actually more easy, actually faster as well for people like Victoria, who wants to be fast and who actually doesn't know the store right away, going after work or something, because that could be from a how to say that, one-time experience in the store. So that could be really helpful for those people. What else can we say about this application? Okay, that's actually the main functions. I'm going to move on and talk about the fact that, so I was talking about the main points before. It's because we actually thought that it would be possible to link this application with the Nectar card of your, so which is the loyalty card of your stores. So that would be really interesting as well, because linking those two things, you could actually push notification towards the smartphone, as you can see on the screen on the right side, and so that would actually help you to do some push advertising, and also people to check the promotions and the kind of items that are actually useful for them and that they purchase pretty much all the time. So this application at the end of the day is not just something that will help the customers during his journey, but that's actually gonna as well help you to understand them and to tailor your offer, and as well as to actually personalize your offer through notifications and through the card which is in the phone. So in terms of backstage implications, of course, this recommendation, which is digital, is way more not problematic, but it deserves a lot of maintenance. So first, of course, the IT department will be highly concerned. Then there will be concerns about geolocalization to guide people within the store. Then it would, of course, require the marketing department to do some research and to develop the layout of the application and everything. But most importantly, of course, the fact that you can find your product within the store mean that actually when you're going to change a product from one place to another, of course you will be forced to adapt it and to update the application so that people will be able to find their items within the store. One more thing I didn't talk about, of course, is that, as you can see on the slide before, sections, colored sections, are actually as well replicated into the application, not only offline. So that's something more we can add about the application. So that is it for us. We actually thank you very much for your attention. We really hope you enjoyed this video, and we wish you a very, very, very pleasant end of day. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.